I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a little bored of just sitting here talking to the camera. So today we're gonna do something fun. Alright, today we're going to be talking about how to shoot better photos with your smartphone, and in particular we're going to focus on return tops or products in general. So first things first, you need a few things. Obviously, smartphone. Easy. Done. Second up, you need a product. We're going to go with the Peak 2 by Caribou Lodge. Beautiful. Third, you need a light source. We got a window. Great source of diffused light that's also semi-directional. It looks fantastic, it's natural light, just use a window. We're gonna get a background. I know this sounds crazy, but these little cookie sheets that you use in the oven look fantastic. Fifth, you need something to reflect your light. You can use just anything that's like white and glossy. I typically like to use poster board. This is just kind of thick paper. Last, you need something to set it on. We're gonna use this stump. Once you've got everything set up, it's time to start grabbing bangers. So I like to hold the white card myself while I'm shooting because the way that you change the angle and the way that you kind of hold it dictates what the shadows are going to look like on your product or return top. So I hold it by myself. You're welcome to prop it up once you find an angle that you like. Personally though, I like to be able to change it while I'm shooting. Let's grab a couple quick shots and then I'll show you how I edit. Alright, so once you've got your shots, we're going to jump into my favorite mobile photo editing app. It's called Polar. Looks like this. You can download it for free on the App Store. My favorite shot was probably that last one we took, so we're going to jump into that guy. Okay, so we've got our photo. So your menus are down at the bottom. You've got your like crop, your filters, stuff like that. And then within each one, you've got these items, which also open up more menus. It's a pretty crazy application. It's a lot like Lightroom. I would take a few minutes to kind of familiarize yourself with it before you just jump into editing, because it's pretty easy to get lost. But my favorite thing to start out with is typically curves. So we are going to jump into curves. We're going to go into our RGB, and I'm just going to set a pretty simple S-tone curve here. Pretty standard. Make things look nice. Looking good. So we can close out of curves. That's just kind of getting things set for the beginning, and jump right into color. So we can bring temperature. I'm gonna actually bring it, I like it a little bit cooler, just like -2, very, very basic. We're gonna jump into tint, and I'm gonna bring it a little bit green, and then we can go up with the vibrance, down with the saturation. Jump into light. This is where your highlights and your exposure and all that stuff lives. I'm gonna go ahead and do exposure first. Let's bring it down a little bit. It's a pretty bright photo. Yeah, then we can bring brightness up. And we can bring contrast down just to kind of round out those shadows there. Jump into highlights. I think they're a little hot on the edges of the YoYo. You can see there, they're pretty white, so I'm going to bring those down just in an attempt to get those to be a little darker. Also, the background is a little bit brighter than I would have liked, so we're going to bring that down as well. Shadows, you can kind of play with how you like them. I'm going to bring these ones up slightly, and then we can bring whites up as well, just a little bit, and then blacks we just kind of play with. I might actually bring shadows down and blacks up. Okay, so we can close out of those. Let's jump into detail. I'm gonna bring clarity down actually just a little bit, something that I typically do with product shots or portraits, because they help to eliminate any blemishes in the scene. In this case, I want to kind of separate this, which is very, very in focus, from the background even more, which is done by dropping clarity just a little bit. We can sharpen it just a slight bit as well. As far as HSL goes, I don't really want to change the color of the YoYo, but I might desaturate it just a little bit. You can see with hue, you can actually literally change it from purple to red if you wanted to, but I think I'm gonna leave it where it is because it's a beautiful return top. We can maybe change the reds to be more purple. And I'm going to desaturate that just a little bit so that backside doesn't pop as much. And at any point, if you want to check the photo, like kind of just see before and after, you can just tap and hold and it'll show you the original versus the new. Based on the original versus this one, I actually think I made it a little too dark, so I'm actually going to go back into my curves and bring this top curve up, and then you kind of just play with it until you get it right where you want it to be. Okay, I think we're good. Then you just hit the share button down at the bottom and you say save. And it'll ask you if you want to modify. You say yep, photo saved. Jump into your photos. And there it is. So there you have it. That's a super quick and easy way to start making your product photography or your return top photography look a little bit better, and do it really easily from just a smartphone. You don't need a whole lot of stuff. In fact, you can do without the background or the bouncer or whatever. As long as you have a nice product and nice lighting and a decent space to work within, you can make beautiful things happen. If you tuned in last week, you probably saw that I promised to give away a prototype of Yuki Spencer's signature return top, the Kayak, and we're gonna do that. So if your name is on the screen, you won. Go ahead and email Steve at CLYW.ca and he will get that shipped out to you as soon as he can. So that's all for me this week. I look forward to seeing all of the photos that you guys post using the techniques that we learned today. Use the hashtag vlogcabin and I'll keep an eye out for them. Other than that, on behalf of myself and everybody else at the Caribou Lodge team, thank you guys for tuning into the Vlog Cabin, and we will see you next time.